Hi guys, it's me, Jocelyn again, and for this final video that I will be dedicating to Asian History Month in May of 2026, I shall be talking about a horror movie from Thailand, and the name of this movie is Shutter from 2004. Now, I want to tell you that this movie I saw on Daily Motion, and it was recommended to me from a friend of mine from Thailand. So, let me just tell you about the website for a minute. Now, I used Daily Motion to watch videos, movies and things a long time ago, but I haven't been there for many years now. Now, unfortunately, things have changed a little bit, because when I went on there, first it wouldn't work on my phone. Second of all, it wouldn't work on my other laptop, because of connection issues. Number three is that when I finally got to work on this computer that I'm recording on now, it was very obvious it's one of the free to watch websites, where you can watch movies and short TV shows and whatnot. But the thing is that the format has changed a little bit, because when I was watching it, it was always full commercials, like every 4 minutes on the dot, it seemed like, and the commercials were fine. But the only problem is that they were the same commercials for everything. They were like a combination of 4 or 5 different commercials for the entirety of the movie. That's like about a little bit more than an hour and a half movie. So it was very aggravating. You think that with YouTube it's a little bit annoying with commercials or whatever, but this one was bad. It was terrible. Not only that, but toward the end of the movie, when things get more horrible, more horrific, and there's even a rape scene in there, they had commercials in there for a Scholastic kids book show, which is kind of off-putting, being that it's a movie about a dead woman's ghost that was horribly raped and stuff. So to have that juxtaposed with little kids was really kind of disturbing a little bit. Probably more so than the actual movie itself. And let's see, what else is there? There was some instances where the commercials were to play right after another. So you'd be seeing something for Rowan University, and then you begin the same commercial for Rowan University. So that was kind of annoying. And let's see, the commercials were short. They were like 15 seconds, 30 seconds apiece, but still, it was highly annoying, especially every 4 minutes that it was going on. Especially when you want to see what was going on in the main movie, which was basically a horror and a mystery movie combined, the genres. And by the way, when I talk about this movie, I like to talk about the actors and actresses in the movie, by name and whatever, but because of the way some Thai names are, I'm not even going to attempt it, because they're so complicated that there's no way I can do it properly. But I will say that one of the actors reminded me of Damien from The Gym. Yeah, essentially that one of the main characters reminded me of that guy from The Gym. And he reminded me of that or Johnny Depp the Pirates of the Caribbean movies for whatever reason. Yeah, maybe it's a goatee, maybe it's a beard, or whatever, but he just reminded me of that. And there's this other actor that played the dead woman's life ghost that remind me of what would happen if Uma Thurman and Kuriyama from Kill Bill Volume 1 had love child together. So kind of pretty, very pretty actually. Even when she's a zombie ghost with blood coming out of her eyes and stuff. Yeah, this reminds me of what we're having if after Gogo Yubari were to die, come back as a murderous ghost. So I don't know if these actors were to go on other stuff or if they were famous enough to go well known in the world, but they were pretty good in this movie at least. They were very, very, very good, I think, in the movie. Plus, in a movie with a rape scene and several death scene in it, you would think that it's very depressive, very sad, which it is very sad. But there's one scene in which it's so damn funny. I swear to Christ, it's so funny. It caught me off guard there. And let me just say that some of the scenes are jump scares, but there are some general funny bits too, and some good horror stuff in it too. So anyway, without further ado, let me talk about the movie Shudder. Now, this movie is very unique in that it reminds me of the movie it reminds me of a few things. Number one is the American version of The Ring with the use of like outdated technology, because this movie came out in like 2004, so there was the use of old-fashioned Polaroid cameras. You know, where you have to shake the picture and make sure it's developed on the spot, and also dark rooms too, which, for those who don't know, are basically the developing areas where people like homegrown developers and stuff would take film and make them into the pictures that we know and love today, where we were to see like old like when I reviewed like 1 hour photo, it'd be like that, but more of a underground unprofessional type thing. These people more like fresh out of college, and they're basically learn their way, if you will. They go through like tabloid papers and newspapers and things like that. Kind of like Peter Parker, before he earned the professional photographer type status. So anyway, one other thing I like about this is that it also features like cassette tapes that like this, and there's the brother of the main guy named Ton is in like a ton of wheat or a ton of paper or something, and he had an old TV screen, an old TV before the plasma TV, before the flat screen TV with the big bulgy ones that went into the wall unit or whatever, like about maybe 3 or more inches or so. You know, not the biggest TV, but still pretty big. Anyway, the point is that I remember having that exact TV screen in my room once at one time. I don't know if we went to my college in Sorenberg, but yeah, there was that. So it's kind of like an adult trip for me, kind of like the Ring or something else at that time period. And let's see here, also there, which, speaking of my college experience, the main girl in the movie, Jane, the actress, remind me so much of this one woman who I know from college, Rita, and that's pretty nice, pretty sweet. I could see someone like her in the movie, even without the Brooklyn accent. Because now from that knife I'm not just the Brooklyn accent. Maybe because I was raised with it. My aunts and uncles always talking to me with that accent. Like I got kind of oversaturated with it. Or maybe it could be because I watched The Nanny when I was a kid. So that kind of put me off of it too. That and the fact that I had an aunt that sounded just like Fran Drescher in there. Even though it's not really her own voice, she overacted with that. So anyway, you have these two people, Jane, which is probably the most English American name that you can have in this movie, full of Thai people. And then you got Ton, like almost like tuna but without the A. So I'm gonna say Ton. I'm gonna say Toon or Ton. Yeah, I'm gonna say Toon. Because Ton's his brother's name. And that's kind of weird. It'd be like saying Joe and John. So in any case, you got these two photographers. Like I've been coming photographers, and they have like a little business where they're partners as well as romantic interests to each other. And Jane is the first one to notice that in a bunch of pictures there's a phenomenon called shadows, by which people I don't know if people know about this nowadays, like with the kids nowadays, but there was a time when you took off like a pics and whatnot, and the picture would double develop or something, and you would see like a shade of somebody in the picture, like somebody that was not in the picture itself. And it's like people say that it was ghosts or some kind of supernatural thingamajig or something like that. But it would just double the exposure or some kind of light issue or something mechanical to do with the picture. And there was also what's called a shine. I call it a shine. It's like a white light that would appear in some pictures. Like a ghost or a smudge or something or other. So it was all like a mechanical effect rather than a supernatural one. So these people kept noticing that this shine kept on happening with this one particular girl. And we will find out that her name is Nature. It's N-A-T-R-E, Nature. And they were like, who is this girl? This girl doesn't register with us, with our friends and whatnot, and people that we know. So So, let's see here. So, when driving home one day, they end up running over somebody in their car, which I'm sure it's a Thai brand. But it's funny to note that the car is reversed we are used to, in that the driver's side is over here on the right side, whereas we're used to on the left. I don't know if that could be onto the road that they drive on, being the opposite of what we used to in America, but that's kind of weird to notice. I think they also do that in Britain and some other European countries as well. I thought that was just a European thing. But anyway, they are driving along, and they're like, this person is like a dead person, or I should say, a living dead girl. So anyway, they show this, and then they're like, what the hell just happened? And then she will appear later on in the same driving sequence with Toon still driving the car. And it's very funny what happened to him in that part. So anyway, they see this girl in other pictures, in more modern pictures, not just graduation pictures and pictures of Tom's family and stuff. They actually show them in like the photography development labs and all that. So they get a little freaked out because he kind of knows who she is, because they've been together. They've been in the same room together. So he's kind of like freaking out about her. And then his brother Tom ends up committing suicide while he's in the place. It's the own apartment. Toon is there, and he's like, "No, don't do it, Tom, don't do it, Tom." And he jumps over the edge. And we see that the Toon used to be in a gang of 4 guys, including himself. And they were like in college together. And it was including his brother. So one of the other members ended up doing himself in the same way by jumping off of a building. And then we see that we're like, why are you doing all this? So then they end up identifying the girl as Nader. And they end up going to Nader's house. And her mother, like, I could get her from a nap, because apparently she ain't dead. So she had to go see her daughter, and then 2 people, Toon and Jane, end up going to see her in her room, and we find out that she's been much like Norman Bates, and that she's been lying in bed for 3 days, like dead, and she's been like that for many years now, and her mother won't cremate her. And we actually do get to see a Buddhist funeral, which is kind of a nice thing, grim topic, but it's cool for me because I like that kind of thing, that Buddhism. So to see the funeral rites, that's an actual thing for me. But anyway, they have it so that during the course of the movie, they end up showing that Jane and Toon are having a private time, not really sex time, but like they're just relaxed on the couch, and he's like hold me, and she's like I'll protect you no matter what happens. And then we see that the camera is over there taking pictures of them too. And I think it's also implied that because Toon and Nada were at one point an item together in college, that was her camera that she gave to him for his birthday party or something. So it was kind of like a personal effect that she gave him. So that's why she was able to possess it and take pictures of them too. So pretty much what I got out of it was that Nader, the spirit of Nader, was jealous that Toon was seeing another woman. So talk about being bitter to the end, or past the end, I should say. And throughout the movie, there was a running thing about Toon having neck issues. That was always something really excessive on his neck, on his upper back. And we see that he went to a doctor about that, and the doctor said that he was fine, and there was nothing physically wrong with his neck or upper torso. So that would be resulting on the movie too. But anyway, we see that this camera is taking multiple pictures of him with the girl, and that camera is pointed a little bit off to them, like to a bookshelf. And we'll see later on why that is, why it's pointing to the bookshelf. So anyway, the guy Toon finds out that he believes that this spirit or this essence that's haunting him is actually his past girlfriend, because she was kind of weird and everything. So we'll also find out why that is. So anyway, they have the funny part is when when he goes into the bathroom, a truck stop bathroom, which is always a risk in itself, a gambling in itself if you go into a truck stop bathroom. And Gene is waiting in the car for him, and he goes in there, and he's very careful to go in there. He's very creeped out, and he's walking kind of spookily and stuff, kind of like a Shaggy going to the bathroom. So he gets on the toilet, and there's somebody that goes next in the stall next to his. So we're watching the shadow of this person going in there, and we're getting creeped out because we think that the girl is going after him in the stall. So we find out that this isn't very good stuff because the toilet paper is almost nil, and when he whips up the last sheet of paper, it's like, oh Christ. So he knocks on the door and he says, "Hey, could you do me a solid? Can I borrow some paper off of you?" So then we see a hand going and reaching for the paper on the side. It turned out to be a girl hand with with nail polish on it. So we're like, oh my god, it's the girl. She's gonna reach up and grab him from the toilet bowl and all that entails. So then the guy gets up, presumably after he wipes his butt, and he goes over there and he opens the door to the woman, to the girl, and it's revealed not to be the ghost of his former girlfriend, but instead it turned out to be a lady boy. And yeah, it's quite funny that when it's revealed, and then what this person says afterwards, he says, "Can I go poo first?" In other words, it was true about what they say about truck stops, that certain activities happen between two men, and she was just kind of like a hooker. So it was kind of implied that she was ready for business after she did her own business, which I find really hilarious, being that the guy obviously was looking for his girlfriend, and it turns out that this girl assumed that the guy wanted to get on with her. So I find that very funny. Another fun part was that when Toon was driving with his girlfriend Jane around, I think it was at this part, but the girl ends up in the road again, kind of like the girl Samara from The Ring, and and then the guy ends up swerving around her to avoid her, but then you see her chasing after her, and it's funny because we cut the guy behind the camera looking at both the people in the car, Toon and Jane. And what's really funny is that one time when the camera cuts to Jane in the passenger seat, you see the girl you see the girl creeping up outside the car in a ghostly and bloody form. So that's really funny to me. It reminded me of that scene from the movie Hocus Pocus with the car and with the Bette Midler which chasing after them and then pull over to the curb and that kind of thing. And what's even funnier is that one of the jump scares in the movie, when we don't see her on the side of the car anymore. We see her in the front of the car for a split second, and it's like booga 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 booga. That's actually really funny. I think the only is a tree trying to avoid her. So then we see the mother over there, and then we see them talking around to cremate the woman and to put her spirit at rest. And we actually see her getting cremated. Not what I see, because I remember my own mother was cremated, so that kind of helped me a little bit. I think that it probably hit you guys in the same way too. But I would like to wait to see her face come out of flames for some reason. The girl, Nature. So then we find out that this guy ends up going to a hospital for something, for the injury that he got from the car, almost hitting the ghost girl. And then this girl ends up following him around everywhere. And yeah, and afterwards, they don't go to the hospital. They end up, the girl ends up chasing them down in her apartment after a little sex time with Jane. So, the girl ends up chasing them down the stairwell and everything else, and going upside down on the ceiling. Good effects, by the way. I approve of them. So, I have no idea what the Thai obsession with number 4 is. And it might be like our obsession with number 13 as being like a supernatural evil symbol or something. But they have that. And he always goes to number 4. Floor number 4, even though he's bringing down the stairs. And the girl Jane is on the bottom. Says, "Why did you leave me alone? Why did you leave me alone?" And then she grabs him, and it's revealed that it's the Grand Dream sequence. Number 2, the girl ends up transforming into Near's ghost. So it's all kind of creepy and disturbing. Point that he ends up going into like a shock or something, and he jumps up at the window again. But let's see, he doesn't jump out the window, but he does climb out the window into down the ladder, going the slow way, and then you see the girl's spirit chase him down this going not only down the falling after him down the ladder, but you see her going down upside down. She this big gaping mouth with these eyes that look like, "You did this to me. You did this to me." And we're like, but how? If the guy was a good boyfriend to you, how could he possibly have anything to do with your murder? So yeah, which, by the way, I know that suicide is a very grim topic, and each can help for anybody that wants to do that to themselves. But I can't help but think of that Family Guy episode where Pierre says, "I'm gonna cut myself," in which Meg said, horizontal for tension, vertical for damage, or something like that. So so she told herself like that, wanted to cut herself because of the tension or something, and then they choke the girl Jane like that. Then we know that the girl is telling herself as Jane. So anyway, that's not a joking matter, by the way. So he ends up falling off the ladder because he freaked out, and he's very creeped out. It'd be kind of like Go from the Ring, Tamara climbing down the ladder in the slow, groping fashion. I'm chasing after you, and the demon put with it in bed together, and Nader's ghost coming up with the Go from the Ring. So in any case, we think that it's a kind of jealousy thing happening. So then the guy ends up going to the hospital from his injuries, and we assume that he's dead or something. So turns out that the girl Jane actually finds the camera and finds the pictures that were taken on that night on the couch with the ghost girl doing the operating camera, and she's able to put them all together, and she said there's like a little phantom of Nader taking pictures, and there's so many of them that she can make like a little flip book out of it. So she makes a flip book out of all the images, and then we see that there's like that this phantom is on the floor, and she's reaching up to the bookshelf, and the last picture of her at the bookshelf reaching for something. So Jane gets to looking behind the bookshelf, and she finds a bunch of pictures there that the guy ended up taking pictures of and then hiding them for some reason. I have no idea why. So in those pictures it shows his guilt to what happened to Nader. Turns out that one day, way back when, years ago, that this little gang that they had together ended up getting drunk one day and then following Nader into the chemical lab with which we were working, and they just tried to have a little fun with her. And in that moment, we're like, damn, they're gonna do this. They're gonna do something horrible, and yet they do it horribly. And with two guys holding her down, and one guy actually doing the nasty deed. And they're like, but there were three guys in the group. What happened to two? Well, it turned out one of the guys is like telling them, take a picture of this, take a picture of this, so she doesn't squeal. And Toon ends up taking a picture of them, having fun with her, even though she's begging and crying and telling them to help her out. I would help the girl out. I wouldn't go along with this. I would beat the guys up. I would defend her. I would call the police on them. Even though they're my friends, a real friend wouldn't have somebody do that to them, or put them up to taking pictures of them so they wouldn't be able to scan them or pin them for what they did. So anyway, the guy took some pictures of them, and for some reason he doesn't destroy the pictures out of the conscience and whatnot. So anyway, she ends up killing herself with pills, and then he's left scot-free until later on when they all die by jumping off a building. I have no idea why they all died in this manner when she didn't do that herself, but they all did under her influence from beyond the grave. So when Jane finds out about all this, she's like, "You son of a bitch! You went along with this whole thing, and you tried to keep it from me too." He's like, no, I changed my ways for this stuff. The only reason why he's saying that is he wants more of Jane. But we all know that the guy's an asshole. That proves that he's a dickhead. He's a monster. He's just as big of an accomplice as the people that hold the girl down and frustrate assault her and that kind of thing. All because you just said that you did nothing to help her out, even though she was begging you for help. That is probably even worse than the people that did that horrible thing. Especially because you two were together. You're supposed to protect the woman. It's supposed to fail any would-be attackers. That's really horrible. And now Jane left her. He's like, okay, babe, there's no more Jane. Come back to me. Let me see you. So he started taking pictures of everything around, and then he's like, no. Well, come on out. And then we realized why he'd been feeling so much neck pressure and upper back pressure and head pressure. Possibly because apparently when they made the vow to death do us part, even though they're not married, they were never married at any point whatsoever. In fact, even he said, that I may have loved her. I may have loved her in the future, but not now. So where did they get off with saying get to part in this kind of thing? That's the kind of thing that you would say if you were together forever for at least a couple of years. So anyway, they showed the guy he accused everywhere else in the room with the camera, except for up here. And the thing is that in this whole time, you see that he's got more weight to him. He's got an increase in neck pressure, even though everything is physically fine with the guy. And we find out that during this part, the girl is actually in phantom mode on top of his head, like sitting on top of his neck, with legs dangling and stuff. So all throughout the rest of the movie, you see a phantom on top of his neck, with that, like cradling his neck and his head, like a girlfriend would do to a guy, playing with his hair and stuff like that. And then he made the hospital because he decided to try Angel, but she ends up, I guess, preserving his life so that he can always suffer with her behind his head and whatnot. So he'll have periods like women scorn. Am I right, guys? So anyway, this is a good cautionary tale that if your former girlfriend is begging for help from a sexual assault, you better goddamn well help her out. You better beat up the guys, call the police, call the authorities, notify, whoever you need to get them off of her. If that ever happened to my girlfriend, I would take whatever means necessary to hunt those people down and charge them, and possibly if a living shit out of them, because they deserve it. They're animals. In any case, I find it really funny to think of the girl always hiding up there. He getting having I should put this, his life being preserved by her so that he suffers for the rest of his days. And we see that Jane does visit him in the hospital, in the padded room, so he can't do something like that. So that she can torture more and stuff with the neck pain and stuff like that. But you can only imagine that kind of thing being that close to a woman's private region like that all the time would start to be a new mental drain, as well as certain odors would come out of the orifice and whatever. But to imagine that kind of odor coming from a dead woman's orifice is really horrible. It's gotta be like stick to the max. And that's really funny. He deserves it for what happened to her. It's kind of like the hell punishment version of what happened to her. Meaning that he just stood there and witnessed a horrible sexual crime. So the punishment actually fits the crime in that way. I really like this movie. I like this Thai movie, which is weird because I couldn't really understand them all, but the subtitles helped out a lot for that. And it's really funny that they worked together, even though she was kind of weird and stuff. I enjoyed the strange and unusual people. But anyway, I was going to do add some more to my video footage on this. But the only thing is that my camera, more in specific, my SD card crapped out on me right when I was gonna upload something from a disco party that I went to with my father. So unfortunately I can't do that. I mean, the party was dead pretty much. It was deader than nature was. But yeah, I can't do that right at the moment. So the file on my card, but I can't show it to you guys. And when the party actually did go like an hour later, that's when I record again. Me dancing with some other women. But yeah, that was a file that one could put, and therefore the entire card one could put too. So that kind of sucks a lot. But the effects on this movie were excellent for another movie made in Thailand. I didn't really expect that much out of this movie, but it was very good. I mean, I told my friend about all the Leatherface, Jason, all that other stuff. So she was like, nah, my movie is worse. It's very terrifying. Yeah, no, it was really scary. I jumped a few times, and this movie was better than I thought it would be. I'll put the link for it in the description below, and you guys decide whether you like it or not. I think you'll like it. Anyway, if I were to ever see someone like Nader, that's kind of oddball, I would date her, because I would date her because I like the strange and unusual. Plus, she reminds me of Gogo Jabari, even when she becomes covered in blood. And that's very kind of creepy and disturbing. But I like the movie. I really like the movie. So, I thank you for watching my little discussion about the movie Shudder from 2004 for Asian History Month. Lots of movies I know, lots of videos I know for that. I may do Dragon Ball Z episodes again, but for the most part, that's it. Anyway, the way it's fun to do it for this year, it's for every year, for May of 2026. So, yeah. Give this movie my 3-piece silver pool because it's fucking awesome, like movie. Uh, to get the kid in some guy getting haunted by his ex-girlfriend for whatever reason, that you think that she's the bad guy until you realize that he's the bad guy for allowing something like that to happen as a spectator, and then as a picture, as a paparazzo type character with no morals. And then you realize that his punishment is actually warranted because he's a monster, right along with the other people that actually hold it down and also for her. And that ain't right. And the fact that Jean actually come back to visit him is actually a real testament to her forgiveness. I'm sure if it was her, she probably wouldn't be that way. But I'm not sure if she or if the girl neither decided to want to end it all before or after that happened to her, a dramatic event. I think it was before, and she wanted to keep him with her forever and ever and ever. So anyway, if you guys like what you see here and want more of my videos and would like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future information on videos by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707. Well, if you want, you can always you can always follow me on Twitter or X at PNelsonPro, and my email is jkidsgeniechannel@gmail.com. So anyway, as anyone that likes foreign films like this, and it was a lot better than it was possible. The effects were really good. The comedy was pretty good. The culture was actually pretty enlightening. You know, I think it's kind of like a thing where if you go into a Thai house, you have to go barefoot. You know, out of cleanliness and respect for the owner. I know that with Chinese people and Japanese people, it's you have to wear slippers before you go into the house. But I don't know about Thailand. I want to ask somebody about that. And I want to ask about what they're obsessed with the number 4. And by the way, the actress that played the character of Jane, holy, I love when she gets scared or when she's frightened by things. And peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in Internet. Salutations. Ciao, ciao. Sayonara.